Hi everyone, this is Terry. Today I'm going to show you two different ways to create appliques on the embroidery side in your Luminaire, or these can be patches. It just depends on how you sew it out. And if you need any help on thinking through how to do that, all you need to do is ask questions in YouTube, or if you're in the Facebook group, just Stitching with the Brother Luminaire, you can ask them there. The first thing we'll do is select this little Disney category, and I will choose number 3. Now this is small, it's 2.26 by 2.17. I thought this would be really cute if it was added to a child's backpack as a patch, and I'm thinking of gluing it on with a fabric glue. One of the things that I would do is test that fabric glue. So more than likely what I'll use is like a cotton duck, twill, or even a denim fabric. But one of the things that I might want to do is use one of the fusible stabilizers on the back. And the glue that I would use is E6000. Make sure that whatever you select, it's something that you can launder. Okay, the next thing you want to do is you want to choose Edit and choose the Applique wizard. Now you can reduce this down in size all the way down into the actual design itself. I really don't want to do that, but you can see that I can go down to 0. I'm going to move it out and give myself a little bit of space. And if you want, it might be easier to see this in millimeters. We never thought, those of us that were introduced later in life to millimeters, probably never thought the day would come that we wanted to see something in millimeters. Okay, here's 5 millimeters, and I like that. I like that appearance, and I'll choose OK. Now let me show you how this is going to stitch out, and that's why I was talking about thinking about how that you're going to apply this. So what we'll do is we'll do the test stitch out. The first thing that's going to stitch out is the design. And that's why I'm saying if you're creating a patch, that's good. What you will want to do if you're creating a patch though is not hoop your fabric, because you want to have that fabric sitting on top of that stabilizer so you can trim away your fabric. And the same would be true if it's an applique, and it'll just finish up. And doesn't that look nice? Now let me show you another way. And by the way, on Disney Designs, and I do have a video showing this, you cannot save them. Like for instance, if I wanted to send this to my PE Design 11, I cannot do that. You can only save it to the machine memory because it's proprietary. So we'll choose cancel, and what I want to do is to delete it, and we'll start out and try something else. Let's say you want to have a monogram or something. So let's go in, and I don't really want to use this. I want to use these decorative fonts. Now some of the decorative fonts have some embellishment, and some of them have smaller letters. So for instance, if I wanted to use this letter here, the smaller D, I could do it, but I actually want to go to this category, number 4, and I'll select the D from it. I already know the sizes that I want to use, so that'll save us both some time. I'll use this size, and now what I want to do is choose Add. I'll go to the shapes, and I want to choose category 5, and I need to have a placement line and a tack down line, so I'll choose this and choose set. Now what I need to do is to make this larger, so I'll go to Edit and go to Size, and I'll make it larger. And I need to be back to inches again because I remember the size in inches. So we'll go to page 9 and change this back to inches and choose OK. Now we'll continue to increase it to 2.94. Okay, that's the size I want. Now what I want to do is choose OK, and I want to duplicate that. Now that I've duplicated it, what I want to do is recolor that thread also. So I'll go into the thread colors, and one of the things you'll notice is the thread color is falling after the design. So this is going to be the second thread color. I'll make that green so you can see it, and we'll choose OK. While it is selected, and it is the one that's selected, but if it's not, all you have to do is click on each design and to select it using the arrows here. Now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and move that, and we'll choose move, and we'll move it to the center and choose OK. Now what I want to do is to create the satin stitch outline. So I'll choose add, go back into the shapes, I'll choose category 5, and I've gone through this a couple of times to figure out the size that I need to have it, and I'll tell you what my thinking was, but let's first get to the size. And let me make this larger, and I want to make this, whoops, that's where I wanted it, 309 by 4.30, and we'll choose OK. Now let's look at this as it's going to stitch out, and you see this needs to be in a 5x7 hoop. We'll zoom in, and we'll go to the playback, and we'll speed it up so we can get to the placement line so you can see it. Okay, so we had the placement line, and then we have a tack down line, and this is what you want to do. You want to size it so that's falling inside of your outline. That's why you cannot save your satin stitch or select a satin stitch that is the same size as your placement or your tack down. Otherwise, it would be sitting on the inside of this line, and I don't think that's what you want. So we'll let that stitch out. Now, if you wanted to use this as an applique where you're putting fabric down, let's go through that process. And what we'll do is we'll go to embroidery like we're going to sew it out. Then what you would do is go into your stitch selection and advance to the color. So if you advance to your placement line, you'll stitch that out first. So that way you know where to place your fabric. Then you'll put your fabric over it, and you'll go ahead and you'll stitch out the next line, which is going to tack it down. And then you can go ahead, and if you want, you can go back to the beginning of the embroidery, but you want to trim your fabric away, is what I was going to say. If you're sewing this on a garment, you'll want to trim that fabric away. And then what you'll do is you can advance back to the beginning of your embroidery by going to 0 and just let it stitch out. So it'll stitch out the design, it'll stitch out the second design, the placement line, the tack down line, then it'll stitch out your outer satin stitch, and you have an applique. If you're creating a patch, which you would more than likely do, and we'll go back to the beginning, and so we'll go to 0, we would go ahead and hoop up your tearaway stabilizer, take your fabric that has been stabilized as well, and I would use, like I said, something like a denim or a cotton duck or twill, something that's heavier. And what I would do is go ahead and place that on top of my hoop stabilizer. You don't need to hoop it because you're going to trim it away. You could also, if you wanted to use a cotton, quilting cotton, what you could do is you could lay a piece of flannel down underneath it, or even a piece of felt or something, because I've made patches using felt. That will give it some backing or some substance to hold it down. I hope this video has been helpful to you. If you like my videos, please like and subscribe to them and share them. You can find me on Facebook with Just Stitching with the Brother Luminaire, and that's STITCHIN, no G. Thanks and have a great day.